I'm Jimmy. I'm the business development lead for Tykn. Super chuffed to be here, sunny Miami. Fortunately, what I'm less happy about is the fact that our co-founder and CEO, Tykn, he couldn't be here today. Namely because Tay is an invisible man. He was born in Kuwait to Syrian parents, and his birth certificates got destroyed during the Gulf War, a war which destroyed the government's centralized registry systems. And thus, when you see his driver's license here, his Dutch driver's license, it still says unknown under place of birth. But like Tay, there are millions of others going through the same problem, and people who didn't only lose their birth certificate, but they also lost, any sort of tangible proof of their existence. And these people, they do not have the same privileges as we do. They do not have, the access to public services. They do not have, these social safety nets or even the children who are at risk for child labor and child trafficking and sexual exploitation. And if you look at the Global Humanitarian Assistance Report of 2017, there's over 600 million vulnerable people, over 250 million of which are caused by natural disasters. So, we're in Florida, we're in Miami, and this is an area that gets pestered yearly with hurricanes. Hurricanes which also affected St. Martin quite badly. And also even in 2018 already, we've gotten mud floods in California, which saw similar consequences to the ones in Sierra Leone. But the difference between Florida and St. Martin and California and Sierra Leone is the resilience of the community and the resilience of the systems. But aside from whether it's through a man-made or a natural disaster, the centralized systems, they are at this point, they are broken to a point of almost no return for some of these people. They are paper-based, they are heavily centralized, and they're not resilient to loss, and it makes them inherently fallible. So I told you about Tay, and I told you he is invisible, but he has another superpower. He's a Syrian refugee. All jokes aside, this curse really turned out to be kind of a blessing in disguise, because when he was in this refugee camp for 2 years after his work permit expired, he was working in the Netherlands, he had a job, he had a car, he'd been doing it for 4 years, and his work permit expired, and suddenly he was in a refugee camp. He thought it would last maybe, half a day. It lasted 2 years before he could get out. But while he was there, he talked to hundreds, perhaps even thousands of refugees who were going through the same thing, who had these problems with their identity. The proof of their identity had been lost. And because he was an early Bitcoin miner, not only was he very popular because he bought everyone pizza, but he also saw that there's great potential in this technology to link it with identity. And it, bringing inherently trust, privacy, and interoperability to it. So we at Tykn are developing the Ana ecosystem, Ana meaning me in Arabic. And this ecosystem, with this ecosystem, we want the users to be able to share, save, and store their identity claims with these 6 primary pillars. So this ecosystem is kind of an aggregate of a permissioned public ledger in the form of the sovereign network, some in-house developed smart contracts, and some stealth tech as well. So with the identity registered through the Ana app, identity claims can be made through zero-knowledge proof algorithms. So these proofs then get verified by trusted institutions such as NGOs and governments, which basically means that once they issue these claims, they do not have to give off any sort of sensitive information, such as, say, a date of birth or a national ID number. Then the Ana APIs, they are linked to the sovereign network, of which we are proud founding stewards. The sovereign network, through the sovereign network, we can not only issue verifiable claims and certify vital records permanently, but we can also grant decentralized digital identities even to those that do not have access to an electronic device through something which is called pure decentralized identifiers. And also through something which is called, which we've called a guardian model. This is, of course, is especially useful in countries such as Africa, where, in certain areas, smartphone penetration is still quite low. So we are beyond the point of abstraction now and going into the implementation phase. And that's why here we would like to announce for the first time our partnership with the Netherlands Red Cross and working together with their 510 data team to improve the way that money gets transferred from these NGOs to these vulnerable populations through what we call a universal beneficiary identity wallet, so that money can be sent straight from these NGOs to the beneficiaries in time. Also working with the Dutch municipality now to register their first 200 newborns on this ledger. We do this with a fantastic, hard-working team, very passionate with a scala of different backgrounds, have two great advisors who are blockchain pioneers in both in their own regard, and with these strong humanitarian and blockchain connections, we are sure that 2018 is going to be very great for us, as it has been in 2017. Winning prizes and getting seed funding from the founder of one of the world's leading e-commerce companies, becoming a founding steward of Sovereign. Our white paper will be released soon. The Anna app will be going into alpha, and we'll be running projects across Africa, starting in Malawi and also in St. Martin. So you probably have loads of questions for me, so please come see me at booth 8 with my colleague. Follow us on social media, and put yourself on our favorites list. Thank you very much.